Captain Jake Morrison walked through the long halls of the Galactic Council Station and felt sick in his stomach. 3 years of this nonsense and nothing had changed. The aliens still treated humans like children who needed permission to breathe. He stopped at the big window that showed the stars and clenched his fists. Today would be different. Ambassador Lisa Carter was already in the main chamber, checking her notes one last time. She had practiced this speech for weeks, but her hands still shook a little. The other human delegates sat behind her looking nervous. They all knew what was coming. Earth had made its decision, and there was no going back now. The chamber filled with aliens of every shape and size. The Zephyrians with their 4 arms and blue skin took their usual seats near the front. Their leader, Counselor Vexthala, always spoke like he owned the galaxy. The big Krillians stomped in wearing their battle armor, even though weapons were not allowed. War Chief Gorthik was so tall he had to duck through the doorway. Lisa stood up when the session began. Her voice was clear and strong, even though her heart was beating fast. She had given speeches before, but never one like this. Every word mattered today. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. "Honored counselors, we come before you today with a final request," she said. "For 3 years, Earth has followed every rule you have given us. We have stayed in our solar system. We have accepted your trade deals that favor everyone but us. We have let your ships watch our every move." Vexthala made that clicking sound that meant he was annoyed. His translator box turned his alien words into human speech. "The young species must learn patience. Rules exist for good reasons. Your people are still new to galactic society." Lisa felt her anger rise, but kept her voice calm. "We have been patient enough. Humanity requests equal status in this council. We want the right to explore beyond our system. We want fair trade. Agreements. We want to be treated as equals, not as children." The chamber filled with strange sounds as different aliens talked to each other. Some clicked their tongues. Others made humming noises. The fish-like aquarians gurgled in their water. Tanks. None of it sounded friendly. Gorthik leaned forward in his massive chair. "Humans are warriors," he said in his deep voice. "We have seen your history. You fight each other constantly. How can we trust you with the galaxy?" Jake Morrison stepped up beside Lisa. His hand moved to rest on his sidearm. It was just a habit, but every alien in the room noticed. "We fight because we care about things," he said. "We fight for freedom. We fight for what is right. Maybe that scares you." More clicking and humming filled the air. The tentacled overlords from the Andromeda sector waved their arms in what humans had learned meant displeasure. The crystal beings from Rigel flashed angry red colors. Vexthala stood up to his full height. "The Council has already decided. Humanity will remain under protective status for at least 50 more years. This discussion is over." Lisa looked around. The chamber had all the alien faces. Some looked smug. Others looked bored. None looked like they cared about human feelings or human rights. She had known this would happen, but it still hurt. Earth had hoped for understanding, but found only closed minds. "Very well," Lisa said. She reached into her bag and pulled out a thick folder of papers. "The United Earth Government formally withdraws from all galactic accords effective immediately. We thank the Council for their time, but we will no longer be bound by agreements that treat us as second-class citizens." The silence that followed was complete. No alien had ever left the Council. Before, most species begged for centuries just to get a chance to join. The idea that someone would choose to leave was impossible for them to understand. Then the chaos began. Every alien started talking at once. The noise was incredible. Clicking and humming and gurgling and flashing lights filled the chamber. Some aliens stood up. Others waved their arms or tentacles. The fish people splashed in their tanks. "You cannot leave," Vexthala shouted over the noise. "The galaxy has rules. There are procedures. You cannot simply walk away." Lisa gathered her papers and put them back in her bag. The other human delegates stood up behind her. They all looked scared but determined. "Watch us," Jake said in a quiet voice that somehow carried over all the alien noise. The human delegation walked toward the exit. Every step felt like it took forever. Aliens reached out trying to stop them, but did not quite dare to touch them. The council had rules about physical contact between species. As they reached the door, Lisa turned back one last time. "When you are ready to treat humanity as equals, you know where to find us," she said. "Until then, we will make our own way in the galaxy." The doors closed behind them with a soft hiss. In the hallway, Jake finally let out the breath he had been holding. "Well, that went better than expected," he said with a grim smile. "Better?" Lisa asked. "Nobody shot at us," Jake replied. They walked quickly toward the docking bay where their ship waited. Behind them, they could still hear the aliens arguing through the thick walls. Some were probably calling for war. Others were likely demanding that Earth be forced back to the table. None of that mattered now. Admiral Steve Rodriguez was waiting for them on the ship. His weathered face showed no emotion, but his eyes were bright with excitement. "How did it go?" he asked. "Exactly as planned," Lisa said. "Send the signal." Rodriguez nodded and spoke into his communicator. "All stations, this is command. Execute. Protocol 7. I repeat, execute Protocol 7 immediately." All across the galaxy, human ambassadors and traders began packing their things. Every human embassy started shutting down. Trade stations went dark. Research outposts packed up their equipment. In less than 6 hours, there would be no human presence anywhere outside the Sol system. The galaxy was about to learn what life was like without humanity. Soon they would discover just how much they had taken the clever, adaptable humans for granted. The negotiation table was empty now, and the real game was about to begin. 3 months passed, and the galaxy felt strange without humans. Dr. Elena Martinez worked day and night in the secret labs under Geneva. Her team had been preparing for this day long before Lisa Carter walked out of that council chamber. While the aliens thought humans were hiding like scared children, the real work was happening deep underground. The lab was huge with machines that hummed and sparked with energy. Elena stared at the readings on her screen and smiled. The quantum tunneling experiment had worked again, the 3rd time this week. What the galaxy thought was impossible was becoming routine for human scientists. "Doctor, the power readings are off the scale again," called out her assistant Ben Parker from across the lab. "Are you sure this is safe?" Elena laughed. "Nothing about this is safe, Ben. That is what makes it exciting. The aliens have been using the same slow faster than light drives for thousands of years. They never tried to push the boundaries. We are going to change everything." Above ground, the world looked normal. People went to work and school. Children played in parks. But every major government on Earth was working on the same secret project. Humanity was not just leaving the galactic community. They were preparing to leap far ahead of it. On the council station, Nexus Prime Counselor Vexthala paced back and forth in his office. His 4 arms gestured wildly as he talked to himself. The silence from human space was driving him crazy. No messages. No trade requests. No diplomatic contacts. Nothing. His aide rushed in with another report. "Sir, our sensors are detecting massive energy readings from the Jupiter area. The patterns are unlike anything in our databases." Vexthala grabbed the report with 2 hands, while the other 2 arms continued gesturing. "Have we identified the source?" "No, sir. Every time our ships get close enough to scan properly, the readings disappear. It is like the humans know we are coming. The Zephyrian leader threw the report down on his desk. Humans had always been annoying with their questions and demands for equality. But at least when they were talking, he knew what they were thinking. This silence was worse than their complaints. Across the station, War Chief Gorthik was having his own problems. The Krillian War computers were supposed to be the best in the galaxy. They could analyze any enemy and predict their tactics. But every simulation they ran against human forces ended with error messages. "Run it again," Gorthik ordered his technicians. "Sir, we have run it 47 times. The computer cannot predict human behavior patterns. Their military tactics do, not follow any logical system." Gorthik stared at the screen showing the latest failed simulation. Humans fought like no other species. They adapted constantly. They used weapons in ways their makers never intended. They took impossible risks that should have gotten them killed, but somehow worked. The worst part was that the longer humans stayed silent, the less the computers understood them. It was like they were changing and evolving, even while hidden away in their little solar system. Amy Foster had been the main trade representative between humans and the Centauri Trading Consortium. Her office used to be busy with requests and deals. Now it was empty, except for desperate alien merchants who could not understand why the humans had stopped trading. "But they need our rare metals," complained a Centauri trader whose name Amy could never pronounce. "How can they survive without galactic trade?" Amy looked out her window at the empty space where human cargo ships used to dock. "Maybe they found another way," she said quietly. The truth was that human technology had always been different. Other species took millions of years to develop new ideas. Humans took decades, or sometimes just years. They reverse-engineered alien devices and then improved them. They combined technologies that should not work together and made them better than the originals. Every alien civilization had come to depend on human innovation without realizing it. The adaptive technologies, the creative solutions to impossible problems, the way humans could look at any system and find a way to make it work better. "You must contact them," the trader insisted. "The consortium is losing money every day without human trading partners." Amy shook her head. They made their choice. We all heard Ambassador Carter that day. Humanity is done being treated like children. In the Outer Rim territories, strange reports began filtering through communication networks. Ships that appeared from nowhere. Vessels that moved faster than any known technology could explain. Crews that helped people in trouble and then vanished before anyone could get a good look at them. The first report came from a mining station near the edge of hegemony space. Pirates had attacked a transport full of refugees. The miners were getting ready to watch another massacre when a ship they had never seen before appeared out of empty space. It was impossible, the station chief told anyone who would listen. 1 second, there was nothing. The next second, this human ship was there fighting off 6 pirate vessels. The battle lasted maybe 5 minutes. Then they were gone. More reports followed. A research station saved from hegemony raiders. A colony ship protected from slavers. A medical transport escorted safely through dangerous space. Always the same pattern. Humans appearing when needed and disappearing before questions could be asked. The galactic intelligence networks went crazy trying to track these ghost ships. Every known method of detection failed. The humans were using technology that made their ships invisible to conventional scanners. They could appear anywhere without warning. Back on Earth, Elena Martinez stood in front of a massive wall display showing test results. Her quantum fold drive project was working beyond her wildest dreams. Human ships could now travel distances in minutes that took alien vessels weeks. "The first deep space test is ready," reported Captain Ryan Bailey, who would be piloting the scene. "Experimental ship. All systems are green." Elena nodded. "Remember, this is just a test flight. Get out there. Take readings. Come back. Do not engage with any alien vessels. Understood, Doctor. But Elena knew that orders in reality were often different things when humans were involved. Her people had a habit of helping others, even when it was not smart or safe. It was both their greatest strength and their most dangerous weakness. The UES Horizon launched from the hidden base near Jupiter and activated its quantum fold drive. In 18 minutes, it traveled farther from Earth than any human had ever gone. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity had not been hiding. They had been preparing. The silence from human space was not surrender. It was the calm before a storm that would change everything. While the aliens argued and worried and tried to figure out what humans were doing, the answer was simple. Humanity was getting ready to show the galaxy what they could really do when they stopped asking for permission and started taking action. The negotiation table was empty, but the real conversation was about to begin. Captain Ryan Bailey felt his stomach drop as the UES Horizon came out of quantum fold space. The stars looked different here. Everything looked different. His navigation officer, Lieutenant Danny Walsh, checked the readings 3 times before he believed them. "Sir, we traveled 12 light years in 18 minutes, Walsh said with wonder in his voice. The nearest alien ship using conventional drives would need 3 weeks to cover this distance. Bailey nodded, but he was not celebrating yet. This was still a test mission, and they needed to be careful. Earth had spent months preparing this moment, and he would not mess it up by being careless. "Run full sensor sweeps," he ordered. "I want to know everything within 50 light years of our position." The crew worked quietly at their stations. Most of them were young volunteers who had trained for this mission since the day humanity left. The Council. They knew they were making history, but they also knew how dangerous space could be. PR Sarah Williams monitored her xenobiology sensors from the science station. Her job was to catalog any alien life they encountered and make sure the crew stayed safe. She had studied every known species in the galaxy, but space was vast and full of surprises. "Captain, I am picking up a distress signal," called out Communications Officer Lisa Brown. "It is coming from a civilian transport about 6 light years from here." Bailey frowned. "Can you identify the species?" "The signal format matches Delvarian." "Protocol, sir. But there are other energy signatures nearby." Multiple ships moving at high speed toward the transport. Sarah looked up from her station. "Delvarians are peaceful traders. They have no military ships. If someone is chasing them, it probably means trouble." Bailey made a decision that would change everything. His orders were clear. Avoid contact with alien vessels. Gather data and return to Earth. But the distress signal meant people were in danger, and humans did not ignore people in danger. "Set course for the distress signal," he ordered. "Maximum quantum fold speed." The Horizon jumped through space and arrived at the scene in minutes. What they found made Bailey angry. 6 hegemony. Raider ships were attacking a Delvarian transport. The raiders were known throughout the galaxy as pirates and slavers who preyed on weak civilian vessels. The transport was badly damaged and leaking atmosphere. Its shields were failing, and the raiders were moving in for the kill. Bailey could see lifeboats launching, but the raiders were shooting them down one by one. "Battle stations," Bailey commanded. "Target the raider ships. Fire when ready." The Horizon's weapons were based on human innovation, combined with reverse-engineered alien technology. They had been tested in simulations, but never used in real combat. The results were spectacular. Beams of focused energy reached out from the human ship and punched through raider shields like they were made of paper. The first raider exploded in a ball of fire. The second lost its engines and began spinning helplessly. The third tried to run, but human weapons had much longer range than the pirates expected. The battle lasted exactly 4 minutes. 6 raider ships became debris floating in space. The Delvarian transport was saved, but badly damaged. Bailey made another decision that went against his orders. "Launch rescue shuttles," he commanded. "Get those survivors aboard." Dr. Williams suited, enjoying the rescue teams. The Delvarian survivors were in bad shape. Many were injured, and all were terrified. She had studied their species, but seeing them in person was different. They were small, gentle beings with large eyes and soft voices. "Thank you," whispered the transport captain as Sarah treated his wounds. "We thought we were going to die." "Who are you? I have never seen a ship like yours." Sarah smiled. "We are humans. You are safe now." The Delvarian's eyes went wide. "Humans? But I thought your people left the galaxy." "The council said you went into hiding." "We did not hide," Sarah said, as she bandaged his arm. "We just stopped talking to the council." Bailey made his third decision that violated orders. Instead of heading straight back to Earth, he chose to escort the Delvarian survivors to a safe world. The transport was too damaged to fly, and the lifeboats could not make the journey alone. The Horizon spent 2 days traveling with the survivors. During that time, Sarah learned their story. The Delvarians were refugees fleeing persecution in Council space. Their homeworld had been taken over by a species that the Council supported for political reasons. "We asked the Council for help," the transport captain explained. "They said it was an internal matter and refused to intervene. So we gathered what we could and left everything behind." Bailey felt his anger grow. This was exactly the kind of thing that made humans leave the Council. In the first place, political gains mattered more than helping people who needed it. When they reached the safe world, Bailey made sure the refugees had everything they needed: medical supplies, food, tools to start a new life. The Delvarians were amazed by human generosity to complete strangers. "Why do you help us?" one of the children asked Sarah. "What do you gain from this?" Sarah knelt down to look the child in the eyes. "Because it is the right thing to do," she said simply. The Horizon left the refugees safely on their new world and headed back to Earth. But word of their actions spread quickly through underground communication networks. A mysterious human ship that appeared from nowhere. Technology that moved faster than anything known. Weapons that could destroy raider squadrons in minutes. More importantly, the story spread about human kindness. How they risked themselves for strangers without asking, for payment or reward. How they treated refugees with respect and dignity when the galaxy had abandoned them. Within weeks, similar reports began filtering through the information networks. Human ships appearing at disaster sites. Colonies saved from natural disasters. Medical supplies delivered to plague victims. Research teams rescued from failed expeditions. Every incident followed the same pattern: swift arrival, decisive action, immediate departure. The humans never stayed long enough for detailed scans or formal contact. They helped and then vanished like ghosts. Bailey delivered his report to Admiral Rodriguez in person. The older man listened without interruption as Bailey described the battle with the raiders and the decision to help the refugees. "You violated direct orders," Captain Rodriguez said when the report was finished. "Yes, sir, I did." "Good," Rodriguez smiled. "That is exactly what we hoped you would do. The galaxy is about to learn that humans do not abandon people in need, even when those people are aliens who supported our exile." Back on the Council station, Vex Thala received intelligence reports that made no sense. Human ships operating far outside their solar system. Technology that defied known physics. Military capabilities that exceeded anything in the galactic databases. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his intelligence chief. "Our sensors show no ships leaving human space. Sir, it appears they have developed stealth technology beyond our ability to detect." These ships are operating throughout the galaxy, and we cannot track them. War Chief Gorthic was getting similar reports. His military advisors were frankly terrified by what they were learning about human capabilities. Ships that could appear anywhere without warning. Weapons that made raider squadrons disappear in minutes. They are not just hiding, Gorthic told his staff. They are operating freely while staying invisible to our sensors. This changes everything. The galaxy was slowly waking up to a new reality. Humanity had not withdrawn from galactic affairs. They had simply stopped asking permission for their actions. And their actions were making it clear that humans were far more dangerous and far more capable than anyone had imagined. The silence from human space was not isolation. It was preparation. And now the galaxy was beginning to understand what humans had been preparing for. Admiral Steve Rodriguez stood in the command center on Earth, looking at the emergency message from the Kepler 442 system. The peaceful Terranian collective was sending out desperate pleas for help. The Zephyrian Third Fleet was moving to take over their worlds and claiming it was legal under galactic security protocols. Rodriguez had been expecting something like this. The Council was getting frustrated with human independence and needed to show strength. They picked on the Terranians because they were weak and had no military to fight back. It was exactly the kind of bullying that made humans sick. Sir, we have 3 battle groups ready for immediate deployment, reported Captain Lara Mitchell from the tactical station. All ships are equipped with the new quantum fold drives and enhanced weapon systems. Rodriguez nodded. Send them all. And Lara, make sure they know this is not a drill. The galaxy is about to see what happens when humans stop asking nicely. Fleet Admiral Kate Johnson received her orders aboard the UEC Defiance and felt her heart race with excitement. 3 months of secret training and preparation were about to pay off. Her battle group consisted of 12 ships, including the newest human destroyers and cruisers. All ships prepare for quantum fold jump, she announced over the fleet communication system. We are going to show these aliens what real military power looks like. The jump to Kepler 442 took exactly 47 minutes. When the human fleet emerged from quantum fold space, they found the Zephyrian Third Fleet already in orbit around the main Terranian world. The aliens had not expected anyone to respond to the distress calls so quickly. Johnson opened communications with the Zephyrian Fleet commander. Her voice was calm and professional, but carried an edge of steel that made everyone on her bridge pay attention. Zephyrian vessels, this is Fleet Admiral Johnson of the United Earth Navy. You have 30 minutes to withdraw from Terranian space. This is your only warning. The response came quickly. Fleet Commander Zex Collar's translator made his voice sound mechanical and cold. Human vessel, you have no authority in this system. The Galactic Council has authorized this action under security protocols. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. Johnson looked around her bridge at the faces of her crew. They were young humans who had trained their whole lives for this moment. Earth's best and brightest, ready to show the galaxy what human military power could accomplish. All ships' battle stations, Johnson commanded. Target the Zephyrian vessels. Prepare to fire on my order. The Zephyrian fleet was impressive by galactic standards. 43 ships, including heavy cruisers and battle carriers. They outnumbered the humans more than 3 to 1, and their commander was confident in his superiority. That confidence lasted exactly 7 minutes. The battle began when the Zephyrians fired first. Their energy weapons reached out toward the human ships and struck advanced shields that absorbed the impact without difficulty. Human defensive technology had improved dramatically during the months of isolation. Johnson's response was swift and devastating. All ships fire at will. She ordered. Human weapons lit up the darkness of space with beams of focused energy that cut through Zephyrian shields like they were not there. The aliens had based their military technology on principles that were thousands of years old. Humans had spent 3 months creating something entirely new. The first wave of human fire destroyed 8 Zephyrian ships instantly. The second wave took out 12 more. The alien formation fell apart as their commanders realized they were facing weapons far beyond anything in their experience. Captain Mike Stevens commanded the destroyer UES Ranger and watched his tactical display with amazement. "Sir, their shields are not even slowing down our weapons. It is like shooting at paper targets." "Stay focused, Mike," Johnson replied over the communication system. "Finish this quickly and cleanly." The Zephyrian fleet tried to retreat, but human ships were faster and more maneuverable than anything the aliens had ever seen. The quantum fold drives allowed instant positioning anywhere in the battle area. Human ships appeared where they were needed and struck with precision that seemed impossible. Fleet Commander Zex Collar watched his fleet being destroyed around him and felt terror like nothing he had ever experienced. In 7 minutes of combat, he had lost 39 ships. The humans had not lost a single vessel and showed no signs of damage. "Surrender," he broadcast on all frequencies. "We surrender. Please stop firing." Johnson's voice came back cold and clear. "Surrender denied. You came here to conquer peaceful people. Accept the consequences." The last Zephyrian ship exploded in a ball of fire. 43 alien vessels reduced to debris floating in space. Not one human casualty. The battle was over, but the real message was just beginning. Johnson activated the galaxy-wide emergency broadcast system. Her image and voice would reach every communication device in council space within hours. She sat in her command chair, with the burning wreckage of the Zephyrian fleet visible through the windows behind her. "This is Fleet Admiral Kate Johnson of the United Earth Navy," she began. "The Galactic Council no longer has authority over independent worlds. Any aggression against peaceful civilizations will be met with immediate and decisive response." She paused to let that sink in before continuing. "We have transmitted detailed scans of this engagement to every military command in the galaxy. Study them carefully. Human military technology has advanced beyond your ability to counter it. We do not seek conquest, but we will not tolerate the oppression of innocence." The broadcast concluded with tactical data from the battle. Scan results showing human ship capabilities, weapon effectiveness reports, shield strength measurements, information that sent shock waves through every military headquarters and council space on the Terranian homeworld. The gentle collective watched the human ships in orbit with wonder and gratitude. They had expected to become slaves or refugees. Instead, they found themselves protected by the same species the council claimed was dangerous and uncontrolled. Admiral Rodriguez received Johnson's battle report and smiled with satisfaction. The galaxy had needed to see human resolve and human capability. Now they had both in one overwhelming demonstration. "Sir, we are receiving communication requests from 17 independent worlds," reported his aide. "They are asking for Earth's protection against council aggression." Rodriguez nodded. "Tell them we are reviewing their requests. Make it clear that any world under human protection will be defended with the full force of our military." War Chief Gorthik received the battle recordings on his flagship and felt something he had never experienced before. Fear, real bone-deep terror at what he was seeing. The Zephyrian Third Fleet had been a formidable force by any galactic standard. The humans had erased it from existence in 7 minutes. "Run tactical analysis," he ordered his computers. The results came back marked with error codes and warning symbols. "Sir, the computer cannot generate effective countermeasures to human weapons or tactics. Their technology appears to be based on principles not found in our databases." Counselor Vex Thala paced frantically in his office as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Independent worlds declaring their intention to leave Council protection. Military commanders requesting emergency meetings. Trade representatives reporting massive disruptions as colonies chose human alliance over Council membership. How many? He demanded of his aide. 37 worlds have formally requested human protection, sir. The number is growing every hour. The galaxy was changing, and the humans had forced that change through strength rather than negotiation. They had left the table and flipped it over completely. Now other species were seeing what real protection looked like versus the empty promises of Council bureaucracy. The age of Galactic Council dominance was ending, and the age of human influence was beginning. Not through conquest or threats, but through the simple demonstration that humans kept their promises and protected those who could not protect themselves. The reckoning had begun. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in its 3,000-year history. Counselor Vex Thala stood before the assembly, and his usual arrogance was gone. Fear had replaced confidence, and desperation colored every word. He spoke. The humans must be contained, he declared to the crowded chamber. Their actions threaten the stability we have maintained for millennia. They cannot be allowed to continue this destruction of galactic order. War Chief Gorthik rose slowly from his seat. The massive Krillian warrior looked tired and older than his years. The battle recordings from Kepler 442 had shaken him deeply and changed his understanding of human capabilities. I have studied every second of the engagement, Gorthik said in his deep, rumbling voice. The humans were not simply more advanced than the Zephyrians. They fought with coordination and adaptability that suggests their entire approach to warfare has evolved beyond our comprehension. He activated a holographic display showing the battle analysis. Look at these movement patterns. No galactic military doctrine can explain them. The humans anticipated every Zephyrian tactic before it was implemented. They fought like they could read their enemies' minds. The chamber filled with nervous sounds as different species processed what they were seeing. The fish-like Aquarians gurgled anxiously in their tanks. The crystal beings from Rigel flashed worried orange colors. Even the confident Centaurians looked uncertain. Then we must unite against them, insisted Vex Thala. Pool our resources and crush this human threat before it grows stronger. Gorthik shook his massive head. You still do not understand. This battle was not humans at their limit. This was humans holding back. They could have destroyed twice as many ships in half the time. The doors to the chamber opened, and Ambassador Lisa Carter walked in uninvited. 2 human Marines flanked her, but they were not the same nervous diplomats who had left months earlier. These humans moved with quiet confidence and deadly purpose. Every alien in the chamber tensed as the humans approached the central podium. Lisa carried herself like someone who held all the cards in a game where everyone else was still learning. The rules. The United Earth Government extends an invitation to all civilizations interested in genuine cooperation, Lisa announced. Her voice carried clearly through the vast chamber without any amplification. We are establishing the Free Worlds Alliance, dedicated to mutual respect, voluntary association, and protection of peaceful species. She placed a crystal data storage device on the podium. The simple gesture sent ripples of shock through the assembled aliens. They all knew what such a device usually contained. This contains technological specifications for quantum fold drives, defensive shielding, sustainable energy systems, and medical technologies, Lisa continued. It is freely available to any civilization that commits to the Alliance Charter. The chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had been bound by Council trade restrictions and technological limitations suddenly saw an alternative future. The promise of human technology freely shared rather than parceled out through Council. Bureaucracy was revolutionary. Vex Thala grabbed the data crystal with all four arms. This is bribery. You are trying to buy loyalty with technology. Lisa smiled coldly. We are offering partnership to those who want it. The Council offers servitude to everyone, whether they want it or not. Which sounds more appealing? Dr. Elena Martinez established the first Alliance research station at Kepler 442. Within days of the battle, the facility grew rapidly as alien scientists arrived to work alongside human researchers. What they discovered that would reshape galactic science. Look at these energy efficiency readings, exclaimed Dr. Zara Venth, the first alien scientist to join the project. She was a brilliant Turanian physicist who had been suppressed under Council restrictions. Human fusion technology is producing 30% more energy than our best reactors while using half the fuel. Elena nodded as she reviewed the test results. That is just the beginning. When we combine your knowledge of exotic matter with our engineering approaches, we can achieve things neither of our species could accomplish alone. The research station became a beacon of collaborative science. Alien creativity combined with human innovation to produce breakthroughs that defied galactic conventional wisdom. Energy weapons that required no ammunition. Shields that grew stronger under attack. Medical treatments that worked on dozens of different species. Back on the Council station, reports flooded in of world after world applying for Alliance membership. A bureaucratic system that had controlled galactic civilization for thousands of years was crumbling as better alternatives became available. 49 worlds have left Council protection, reported Vex Thala's aide. Trade volume is down 60%. 3 major shipping companies have declared bankruptcy. The Centauri Consortium is threatening to leave if we cannot guarantee safe trade routes. Vex Thala stared out his office window at the space lanes that used to be crowded with traffic. Now they were mostly empty, except for human ships that came and went as they pleased. The humans had not conquered the galaxy through force. They had liberated it through the simple act of offering something better. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of the UES Harmony, watching construction crews from a dozen species working together to build humanity's first interstellar city. The massive structure grew daily as more species joined the Alliance and contributed their knowledge and skills. Sir, we have received formal applications from 67 worlds, reported Captain Mitchell. The Aquarian Federation just voted to leave the Council entirely. They want full Alliance membership. Rodriguez smiled as he watched an Aquarian engineer working alongside a human architect to design new living spaces. Approve them all, but make sure they understand what Alliance membership means. We protect each other. We share freely. We respect differences, and we never abandon people who need help. The construction project was more than just a city. It was proof that different species could work together as equals rather than in the hierarchy the Council had enforced. Humans provided the military protection and advanced technology. Other species contributed their own knowledge and skills. Everyone benefited, and no one was treated as inferior. Captain Ryan Bailey returned from another rescue mission in the Outer Territories. His ship, the UES Horizon, had become legendary among the refugees and outcasts who lived beyond Council space. They called him the Ghost Captain because he appeared when hope was lost and vanished when safety was restored. How many this time? Asked Dr. Sarah Williams as she prepared the medical bay. 63 Delvarian children, Bailey replied. Their colony ship broke down in the middle of nowhere. They had been drifting for 2 weeks when we found them. Sarah shook her head in amazement. That is the 5th rescue this month. How do you keep finding people in trouble? Bailey smiled. We do not find them, Sarah. They find us. Word has spread through the refugee networks. When people are in danger, they send out messages hoping a human ship will hear them. The rescue operations had become a symbol of human values throughout the galaxy. While the Council debated and formed committees, humans took action. They saved lives first and worried about paperwork later. It was an approach that resonated with species tired of bureaucratic delays. On his flagship, War Chief Gorthic made a decision that shocked his entire command staff. The Krillian Empire had been a founding member of the Council, and their military might had enforced galactic law for centuries. Now their greatest warrior was choosing a different path. "Prepare a message to Admiral Rodriguez," Gorthic ordered. "The Krillian Empire formally requests alliance with humanity." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Thrak, could not hide his amazement. "Sir, the Council will consider this treason." "The Council is dying, Thrak," Gorthic replied. "I would rather be allied with winners than loyal to losers. But humans have shown what real military power looks like. They have earned our respect." The message reached Earth within hours and caused celebration in government buildings around the world. The Krillian military was feared throughout the galaxy. Having them as allies rather than enemies changed the balance of power completely. Ambassador Lisa Carter stood before the Alliance Council in the new city above Kepler 442. Representatives from 78 worlds sat around the circular chamber designed to emphasize equality rather than hierarchy. Every species had an equal voice and equal vote. "The Galactic Council has sent another demand for our surrender," Lisa announced. "They claim we are violating interstellar law by offering protection to independent worlds." Laughter filled the chamber. The idea that humans would surrender after demonstrating overwhelming superiority seemed ridiculous to everyone present. The Alliance had grown too strong and too popular to be stopped by threats. "What is our response?" asked the Tauranian representative. Lisa smiled. "We invite them to join us as equals or continue declining as irrelevant relics of the past." Back on the Council station, Vex Thala sat alone in his office, staring at reports of another dozen worlds leaving Council protection. The Zephyrian Empire was collapsing as their military weakness had been exposed. Half the Council membership was gone, and more left every day. His aide entered with the latest intelligence report. "Sir, the human city is now larger than our largest station. They have defensive Kapabi.